Welcome to the Brownsville Minute, a community-conscious conversation and a platform that provides information, wellness, love, and unity all on a digital platform. And our goal is to try to make sure that our community residents are informed, conscious, and that we are connecting the dots on a virtual platform. The Brownsville Minute is designed for everyone. Please join us with the Brownsville Minute. Good evening, good people. Happy Thursday. I hope that you all are doing well. Thank you for joining the Brownsville Minute and welcome to another episode. We are in season 2 and we are kicking it off with some wonderful people who you will meet later on in the broadcast that will allow us to unpack the impact of social media on the minds of young people and us adults, because it does impact us as well. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am the host and producer. I will not be moderating this evening, so I get like a little bit of a break to be able to watch these dynamic students who will be moderating and helping us to unpack how social media does have an influence on us. If you had a chance to join us last night, we started off the conversation talking about how, from a mental wellness perspective, the impact of what social media has on the brain, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. And tonight, we are going to continue the conversation because we think that since we are in this digital space, that it's important to get a variety of different perspectives to lend us and to help us to guide us through this process as we are still dealing with this pandemic. And so I want to just take a bit of a moment, without an additional delay, to introduce our youth ambassadors. They are a part of the 11375 Youth Ambassador Squad. They have been working very diligently to put on this production over the past few weeks, and they selected the topic, they designed the flyers and also the videos. But I actually want to give a specific shout out because the intro video, was actually developed and created by one of our speakers this evening, and he is a part of the Youth Design Center, one of the collaborators there. So I actually want to shout them out because I think that they did a really good job and made my workload a lot easier. So salute to Youth Design Center for the work that they do as the creative agency within Ocean-Hill Brownsville. So before we actually jump in, and I'm actually going to repeat some of the community announcements that you saw on the video. But I also wanted to just put out some other community announcements because we do have a number of organizations within the community that is hiring. The Brownsville Community Justice Center is hiring for a number of opportunities, specifically within Brownsville. They have all over the city, but there are some that if you're looking to work within Ocean-Hill Brownsville, there's opportunities there. You can check out Center for Court Innovation.applytojob.com/apply. And really good people that work there. And this is an opportunity that if you are in the market for a number of different opportunities exists there. There is, particularly within the area of education, a number of employment opportunities that I saw came through on an email from our district manager and community board 16. This is one of the many opportunities that came through. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to be connected and on the email list that is managed by the community board, please email our district manager, Ms. Green Walker, to be added to the email list so that you can also receive the current updated activities that happen, in addition to watching the Brownsville Minute and also seeing the post on a variety of different of our community partners. And so I also wanted to put up a request because I actually serve as the community co-chair for the Brownsville Neon, and we're looking for additional stakeholders to participate in the meeting. The meetings are held every fourth Wednesday at 4 o'clock. The link is there and also posted on the Community Board 16 page. So if you are interested and have some time to be able to move some of the things that are happening within the community forward, please take an opportunity to do so. It is open, and so we are expressing the interest that you join us during that time. And last but not least, so again, we are about sharing information. There is the Brooklyn Women's Business Center, a power hour that's happening on March the 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. The Brooklyn Women's Center is connected to the LDC of East New York. So please, if you are in business or looking to start a business, I would definitely, think about connecting with the Women's Business Center. And also we have our local Central Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation that has a number of entrepreneurial events that are happening. So please stay tuned. I just know that this one is coming up. And so I wanted to make sure that you all had that information. And it's also, if not posted now, will be posted on Community Board 16 page. So enough of me, because I now have the good pleasure of sharing what I've been experiencing over the past couple of weeks. I actually want to introduce to you all my youth ambassadors, Ukai and also Maza, who will be introducing our speakers for the evening. We actually have two speakers that are going to be with us this evening, and so I'm going to say bye-bye. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Wakai, and I am currently a junior at A-Tech High School, which was once called Automotive. This evening, we will discuss the impact of social media on the minds of youth and adults. We will be speaking with a few subject matters experts to help guide us through this topic and to provide a few tips and tools to guide us.
Good evening, my name is Mazavin, and I'm currently a senior at A-Tech High School. I will be co-moderating this session tonight. I would like you to thank you all for the support during this broadcast. Social media has dramatically changed the way we communicate with one another. As humans, we are designed to interact with one another in person rather than just through screen.
Social media is a very powerful tool that can be used to motivate people towards an action and make social changes. It provides a platform for our generation to be heard on things that matter the most to us. Tonight, we will take a deeper look into this topic with a few experts.
Please welcome DC Vito, and we would like you to introduce yourself and tell us what you do. And Wavy.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey everybody, thank you for having us. My name's DC, and I live in Brooklyn. I've lived here for over 20 years. I love Brooklyn. I'm originally from Colorado. I started a nonprofit in 2007 that was focused on helping young people get a grip on all the media that flood their lives and teaching them how they can become civic media activists. So using media in a responsible and ethical way to talk about issues and things that matter to them that they don't usually see put forward in media. So the idea is we want young people's voices to be part of our democracy and central to the discussions that are taking place. Thank you again. Excited to be here.
All right, what's going on? How y'all doing? My name is Wavy. I go by Wavy. That's my nickname, childhood name. Everybody from the neighborhood know me. I got a company called Wavy's World, where basically we do skits and sketches just to just show everyday life, like relatable skits and sketches like people can relate to, and just encouraging the youth. Like you don't have to. You can just be creative. Just be creative in your own way, and you could create your own income and create your own brand and things like that. That's all I'm about. Just teaching, inspiring, motivating, inspiring. That's it.
Thank you for introducing yourselves. So now, we will be asking some questions about social media and the impact and get your insight and perspective on the topic. So the first question that I would like to ask you guys is, what does research say about the connection of social media and mental health? It could also be your opinion on it too, if you don't know that much about it.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What does research say about the connection of social media and mental health?
Well, I honestly never did my research on it, so I can't even answer that. I just go by my experiences and things like that. But if I was to go by my experience, and what I see like around my peers and stuff like that, like I say like a lot of people's just like addicted to social media. Like that's only the life they know. Like they're not even really in tune into the real world these days. Like everybody basing everything off of social media. People is going crazy for when it comes to like likes or what they post and what they see and things like that. You know. So that's I ain't do my research, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good too. That's good.
One thing I think is important to note that at least for someone my age, social media has not been a part of my life for the full extent. I'm in my 40s, and for all of us who know social media, it feels like it's always been here. But in all honesty, it's only really been here since the middle part of the early 2000s, so like 2005, 2007. So research on the impact that it's had or has on our mental health is really raw and not fully formed. And a lot of times that stuff is certainly held in the academic institutions. So there's research at Stanford University about the impact that social media has on young people's understanding of the world and their feeling of being civically engaged, either whether that is with their communities or whether that is participating in our democracy. And a lot of times there are studies that shows that social media actually can have a negative impact on the way that young people are engaged.
Right, and with the engagement, this goes to the second question. How does social media influence how we view our lives?
Say it one more time.
How does social media influence how we view our lives?
Well, I mean, I guess when it comes down to that, it also depends on the person too. Like me, like I rely on social media because that's how I brand myself and promote my business and make my income and things like that. I'm sorry, somebody want an autograph. Not right now, sir. All right, but hold on. I'm sorry. You could go to. I'm sorry.
I'll actually weigh on what Wavy said there. Yet there are goods and bads. So social media has the ability for folks to create their own personas and businesses, which is great because marketing your own business prior to social media was really tough and expensive. But there also are some problems with the fact that we create these echo chambers where we only follow and understand and get exposed to things that we already agree with. So we're not being challenged on our perspectives. And sometimes that leads to us not seeing a full extent of the world. But I'm also excited about the fact that, like I was saying earlier, that we're seeing more diverse voices. Prior to social media were controlled by primarily rich white male voices, and now you're seeing a lot more diversity in the messages, which I think is great. And then the other thing is that with social media we're exposed to more misinformation. So when there were only 6 primary sources of information, that information was vetted heavily, and now we're seeing the same sort of impact that someone who has 10,000 Instagram followers that maybe, that NBC who has an Instagram account. So there is concern also about exposure to misinformation.
So, okay, the next question is, what disparities did you find in the ways that social media use benefits and harms certain populations? And also, what concerns does this raise?
You can answer that, DC.
Well, I would say that one thing that's important to understand is that social media is not an equal tool. There are still millions of people, just even in New York City, who don't have regular, affordable access to broadband. And so that impacts the way in which you can access the internet and social media. So a lot of people are accessing it by mobile, and mobile's expensive. So if you don't have access to Wi-Fi or broadband, that limits the ability to how you are able to engage in social media. So people who are in a higher income level, they can have unlimited access, and people who don't have that same benefit, they are already at a disadvantage. The other thing is that, one thing that we need to be aware of is that our data that we're putting out there is now suddenly something that is being commodified, and people are turning it into a commercial property that previously that wasn't an issue. What I said in a conversation to someone on the street wasn't something that a multinational corporation was coming in and making money off of. And then lastly, and something that I'm really concerned about is surveillance, especially surveillance by government sources and like the police. NYPD absolutely uses social media to survey our populations, and we saw that with regards to Black Lives Matter protests. People were their accounts, just following people's accounts, they were pulled out of crowds and arrested, and that's something that I'm very concerned about with regards to the way that some people who are using social media are not having that same surveillance of and by government officials.
Wait, you don't have this?
Nah, he said everything perfectly.
Okay. Okay, then I'll move on to the next question. It kind of connects to what you said, DC. And the question is, do you believe that there are racial inequalities in the world of social media?
I think Wavy should absolutely weigh in on this one.
Yeah, sorry about that. Everybody keep talking to me right now. But say it one more time. One more time.
Do you believe that there are racial inequalities in the world of social media?
I mean, yeah, definitely, because like social media is like another world. It's just like it is in the real world, so definitely in social media too. And social media makes the world, I would say, like a smaller place because it's easier to connect with anyone, like like people you want to connect to on a regular, as far as like celebrities or whoever, whatever race, you have a better connection to them, and going by whatever you post and stuff like that could harm harm or affect like a certain group and things like that.
I would just throw it in there again. It has a lot to do with access. If you don't have access to good education, your life is going to be different than those who do. If you don't have access to broadband, your life is going to be different than those who do. And same goes with digital literacy and understanding the ways that social media can have a positive and a negative impact on your life.
So now, next question is, how do we determine what is real news or fake news?
So with that, I would say is like what's relevant to you, like what do you get out of a situation? Because as far as news on TV, some of that stuff is I don't believe it is real and stuff like that. Like I like to hear from somebody that was exactly there, what's going on and things like that. It's not always going to be like that. So it's like you don't know what's real on social media. A lot is not real. especially when it comes to like people posting alone. Somebody might post in like they happy and things like that, but in reality, is whatever they have around them is not theirs or it's not real. Like it's just a facade, you know. And it could be the same with news. Like when you see news on social media, it's like one page might put it this way, or another page might put it this way. Like it's different stories on different pages. You're like, yo, wait, I thought this was the truth here. Then now you see it here, it's here. It's like social media gives everybody access to create their own story and their own news. You feel me?
Yeah, and going along with that, we all saw what happened with the Capitol on January 6th, the attack on the Capitol. That was largely organized through social media and certainly by a bunch of misinformation that was tossed around, you know, child sex rings in a pizza parlor's basement, you know, things like that, that Donald Trump was going to be the real president on March 4th, that this thing wasn't real. It's just like there's this famous quote that supposedly Mark Twain said, it's a lie travels around the globe quicker while the truth is putting on its shoes. So a lie can just speed as quick as possible that people can push it around, and it's so hard to pull it back. And truth, no matter what, it doesn't matter if you say something that's truthful. If people believe what they want to believe, they're going to believe it.
Right. And like going back to like what you both said, right? Because everyone has access to social media, regarding of like what platform it is, when do you think there should be boundaries set to reduce the social media time?
I guess when you see how much it's affecting your life and things like that, where like you're not even having a real conversation anymore, or you're not even like you at like a meeting or things like that. You're just on your phone constantly. Like we in the world right now, like everybody's just on their phone. Like as soon as you wake up, you just on your phone before you even brush your teeth, before you even dry your eyes. But you just on your phone. So when it comes to you, like, all right, I gotta chill out. Like everything is too much social media for me. Like not to talk about a bad situation, but I just seen recently. I don't know if this person was on social media or not, but they was just on their phone. This happened in Brooklyn and East New York. They was just on their phone walking, not paying attention. I'm not saying it's her fault. Maybe it's other people's fault too. But and then a crane hit her and then crushed her just by being on her phone. Like it's clear as day in the video. And it's like sometimes you gotta be in a real world too. You know, especially when you're outside. You just it's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that video. That was a nurse, and she was walking to her job. That was crazy.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know this
Yeah,
situation. Oh wow.
yeah. So you know, the thing that I would say is that our organization taught all of our students, all our young people, is that you do need to turn it off at some point. And we teach parents need to do it, students need to do it. You shouldn't have your devices at the table. You should turn it off at night. Don't bring your device into your bedroom. Don't use it as your alarm clock if you can help it. I turn my stuff off at 10 o'clock, and I don't turn it on the next morning until 8 o'clock. I understand I'm not a parent, so I know that that's probably not something that everybody can do. But for me, I do need to take a break, and you know, I need physical interaction. I need eye contact. That's one of the things that's really been driven home with this pandemic, is just not being able to see people in the flesh. And you know, I'm a big handshake, pat on the back type of person, and you know, I not being able to have that physical interaction has been painful for me and for my mental health. And I think that that's something that we can sort of lose sight of when we spend so much time on our devices, thinking that we're making real connections, when in fact they're not real connections. They're digital connections. They're ones and zeros.
I like that digital connections.
Going back onto a little bit on turning off, you know, social media at a certain time. Does social media have an impact on sleep?
Definitely. That's a definite. That's a definite, definite, definite. Even sometimes, I remember. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a time in my life where I used to stay up so late and just be on social media because it's like I don't want to miss nothing. It's like I don't want to miss nothing. I'm trying to stay up for everything, every post, what's going on. You know, you end up on so many pages. You on this person page, you read in the comments, you end up on this person page, this person page, and you end up back on your own page. You're like, damn, how I get back on my own page? I click my name. Like it just gets so crazy. It used to be times I used to lose sleep, like get no sleep just being on social media. And it's like I had to realize, hey, yo, I'm not missing nothing. And it's like I can't just be watching everything, especially stuff that's not even like good for my soul. It's like I'm wasting time, energy, and everything. You know, I'm just feeding my brain like non-important information.
Yeah, again, when I teach at John Jay College, and I talk to my students there, but also all the students that were in the workshop that our nonprofit held. The young people look at you like you're crazy if you say don't go to bed with your phone. But I know a lot of times that youth, their sleep patterns are interrupted because their thing vibrates or dings in the middle of the night, and then they're woken up and they don't get a full night of sleep. That's bad. That's bad on any level, and that's not just young people. That's adults. That's people my age. They cannot turn it off. And one thing that I would also offer is that that's purposeful. That's not the people's fault, that they actually have designed these devices to be addictive. And they know this. They've worked with brain scientists. And when you post something, you are anticipating that like, that response, that comment, and it actually gives your brain a hit of dopamine, which feels good. It's actually something that becomes addictive, and it's designed that way. So it's not our fault. It's just something to be aware of and something that we need to be better at trying to stem.
Right. And going into the last questions, how did you become an influencer, and why do you believe that your brand is the one that attracts to youth?
That's definitely a wavy question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say that it's so much going on in my background. These people is very disrespectful. I'm gonna have to talk to my students after this. Well, go ahead. Say that question again.
It's okay. I asked that how did you become an influencer, and why do you believe that your brand is the one that attracts to youth?
Uh, well, I can't tell you on how to become an influencer. Like how I became an influencer, I was just being myself, and it was just being recorded, and then people was just liking it and relating to it. So that influencer, I guess, title stuck to me. I never came to the game thinking like, oh, I want to be an influencer. Like I'm an overall entertainer. Like however when you ever been want to be entertained, that's just I'm the yo. Hold on, y'all. Nah, not I'm going to just close the door. I forgot where I was at, but yeah, I never came to the game like thinking like, all right, I want to be an influencer. Like I was just doing, just be me being myself. It was just being recorded, and then people just catching on to it, and like started getting a lot of followers and things like that. Like I already thought like, all right, this is my brand. It's not just a job. It's not just a game to me. It's not just for fun. It's for fun, but it's my brand at the end of the day. Like I always had merch. I always had hats. I always had shirts. I always had stickers. Like everywhere I went, I always let people know who I was because that's my brand. And I'm trying to take it farther than it is, bigger than it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm not an influencer. I don't know, like 300 people who follow me on Twitter, so I can't answer that question at all. I don't even have an Instagram account, so.
Yeah, it's okay. But like you can put like your input on like other influencers, I guess, or how other brands put out content for you.
Well, I would agree with Wavy that be yourself. Don't try and fake it. If you're authentic, people can sense it, and they're gonna like what you do and say. Don't try and be false. And I think people, If you strive to be an influencer, you're just going to kill yourself, and you're going to hate what you're doing. If you love what you're doing and you like being yourself, and you get rewarded for it, it'll just be more organic and you'll stick with it. But if you end up being someone else that's not you, it won't last.
If you guys don't have any other like thoughts on this, I will be closing it. Thank you for coming today and discussing this topic with us and giving us your time so much. Thank you so much.
I just want to say one more thing. Everything he said was 100% facts as far as like just be yourself, because a lot of people, they see people doing it and they just think they could do it. Like that's what anything in the world. People see somebody doing it, like, oh, I want to do that and I can do it, but it's not in them, and they're doing it for the wrong reasons. As far as like a lot of people just want the clout, as people will say nowadays, just want the clout, just to be liked by people and things like that. They just want the attention, but that's not even like what they do. And then they, like, if somebody doing like negative videos, they're gonna be like, all right, that's working for them, and that might work for me, and that's not even built in you, you know. So just like he said, be yourself. That's the best thing you can do, is just be yourself, be authentic, and people gonna love and respect that, for real.
And so I am gonna welcome myself back into the conversation and also just say thank you. But wanted to just, this is both to Wavy and to also DC. If you had at least two points that you can offer as takeaways that kind of like say, how does a parent, manage, or, how does an adult who's isolated right now deal with, social media? So if there are 2 points that you can offer, I'll start with Wavy. What are your 2 takeaways that you can offer to perhaps, help us as parents, and also maybe those who may be alone during this process, who is relying heavily on social media?
What I would say is, honestly, like if you're going to be on social media so much, like at least be on it for the wrong reasons. Like all of us here, like we do something. Like I have my brand, so on social media I use it to promote. Anita, you also use it to promote the Brownsville Minute. And DC, he said he has to organize the nonprofit, so he has to keep up with content and promoting things like that. But if you just post, like my new thing, I just like to post and go. Like a lot of people tell me, yo, did you see this video, this and this and that? I'll be like, nah, I just post and go. Like if it's not about me or pertain to me, then it's not making me money or no useful information, it's out of my concern. So it's like, use it for the right reasons. Don't just be on there just to be on there. Like use it for the right reasons to promote yourself. A lot of people be having these social media platforms and they have a business, and when they get on the social media, they forget, they don't want to promote themselves. It's like, yo, why you not using Instagram to promote? Then they come up with all these excuses like, yo, use this social media to promote, because you have people all over the world that could see your product. Like I sell merch, and I have people I never even met in my life that just buy stuff every day from my website from different countries, and it's just amazing to me. It's like, wow, like how social media could connect you to so much people. So it's like, use it for the right reason, and if you have a brand, use it for your brand, for real.
I'll also throw out a challenge. One of the things that I try and encourage, both with parents that we work with, educators that we work with, and of course the youth, is to puncture your echo chamber. So I follow a lot of people on Twitter whose opinions I do not agree with. And I want to be able to see what I am not thinking and believing myself within my small circle. I want to know what's going on out there. And I also want to be very clear and aware, you're never going to win an argument on Twitter. You're never going to win an argument. You're never going to turn someone's opinion on Twitter. So that's just absorb and be kind, and don't try and flame someone and be rude, but do open your mind and open your perspective to opinions and viewpoints that are not fully aligned with what you have.
So I actually have a follow-up question, DC, about you actually making a statement to follow individuals, particularly on a Twitter space, about those that have opinions that don't align with yours. On the flip side, would that be opening up the doors for any type of trauma that may enter into your particular space and sanity when you are, wanting to lend your lens, right, to learn about what other people's opinions are, but yet, whatever they may post, it may be toxic for you. Any follow-up thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. That can totally happen. And when that does happen, I would say stop following those people. Luckily, I haven't encountered that myself, but I know for a fact that there are people in my life who have, and I totally support not purposely exposing yourself to potentially toxic and traumatizing individuals, because that's life's too short. You don't suffer fools. There are people out there who just want to be trolls and they want to flame, and that's what they're going to do. Ignore those people. But I'm talking like, people who at least approach their perspectives with a little bit of rationality and intelligence, but they don't share your viewpoints. Those are the people I think that you should try and open yourself to. But yeah, don't suffer trolls.
So on that note, I want to say I am in full gratitude to both DC and also Wavy for your time. We don't want to keep you online anything additional. So thank you and have a good night. I really appreciate the support that you gave us this evening. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you, guys. It was a blast.
All right. Take good care.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye, Wavy. Bye, Wavy.
He's in his own world.
Yeah, he is. He's in his own world. So yes, I am going to pretty much wrap up this 2 series episodes and wanted to just give you all some shout outs. We got some saying thank you. You all did a great job. We giving a hand clap to the youth. And this was also saying that this was a great interview. So I am at this time, I get to bring in my whole squad on, my whole squad. And if you have a comment, Miss Dorian, you can put it in the chat and I'll post it on. So everybody's like giving you shout outs and claps because we are super proud of your efforts. And I can say, specifically for myself, for being my first set of interns that I had the pleasure to work with, it is just really nice to have you all, be a part of this team. I see that Jaden's thing is not connected, so I won't put him on. He's not connected, but there's Noah. Hey, Noah and Devin. This is a part of just a few members. I'm just going to put Jaden's name up there, but he's not there. So I just wanted to highlight my 11375 ambassadors. One is missing, but not forgotten. He's probably having some technical difficulties, but I am very, very excited to be able to present to the world my team that has made me really, really look good. So you don't have to come off mic, but you can wave and say hello. But I am going to say, what specifically each individual did to make this a wonderful 2-part series of the Brownsville Minute. Normally, I have a lot more hands in the creative side, but I decided that if they're going to be interns, that part of the responsibility is to really have them work and learn and utilize this as a skill. So Ukai and also Maza was responsible for the moderation of the event. They were going to ask the questions, and actually they developed the questions, and actually the topic of discussion morphed into, it went from gaming to social media. And so the decision that the group came up with was to make it more relevant for everyone to swallow. And then Devin was responsible for he was our creative genius in terms of the design. So if you saw the flyer that was floating around, that was Devin and his creativity. Really awesome job. And then what I'm going to show after they all come off camera, what you'll see is a video, the closing video that Noah did. But in the beginning, if you joined us, you saw a video that Jaden did. And so it was about, really having them, one, build the courage to be on camera, because when they first met me, they wanted to all kill me when I said that they were going to be on the Brownsville Minute. And now we have 2 episodes under the bag. And I just want to promote them and say that I am super proud of your efforts. I thank you for allowing me into your homes, into your spaces. I have one more week with them. And so I'm just going to, give them the shout out and also the props that they deserve. So I'm actually going to bring Jaden. I think Jaden is able to be added. So Jaden is there as well. That's a part of my squad. So yeah, kudos to my team. I will see you all next week, Tuesday. I think we're back on to our regularly scheduled stuff, and we could debrief and talk about the Brownsville Minute that way. But I wanted to just, again, promote and elevate these young people, because this is what we should be doing as a whole. So I know we're going to shout them out, but I'm going to throw some hand claps up there again. So kudos to you all. Anybody want to say anything, or y'all done with me?
No, we got nothing to say.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a nice, it's been nice working together, honestly.
Yeah, I know y'all done with me. So on that
No.
note, I'm gonna bring you all backstage now, so I can wrap up the show. But I want to thank you all so much for your work, your effort, and I'll see you all next week. All right, so there you have it, the Brownsville Minute, season 2. Really started off with a bang. And again, I am just going to be, gloating, because they did such an excellent job in terms of like trusting the work that we have done with this program. So on that note, I want to just also put up some reminders about, some of the community announcements that we do have. The first is, again, the Brownsville Community Justice Center is hiring. Please check out the opportunities that do exist within Brownsville. They have a full list of other job opportunities, but if you're looking to work and serve in Ocean-Hill Brownsville, please check out the Center for Court Innovation. You can apply to any of the jobs that you qualify for. There's also another employment opportunity, specifically in education, as we all are in this space. There are opportunities that are and have opened up as a result of us being in this pandemic. If you want to be attached to our the information that comes directly as we get it, we try to put it out, but sometimes we may not get it out fast enough. So we try multiple ways in getting out the information. One, through an email list that is managed by our community board district manager, and also through the Brownsville Minute. So we try to put it in a multifaceted way so that the information gets circulated within our community. And if you would like to be added to our community board email list, please email our community board district manager, Ms. Green Walker, at bk16- 1 at cb.ny.gov. And so Passing around more information. I actually serve as the co-chair of the Brownsville Neon. And there's an opportunity. We're looking for community stakeholders to participate. So if you are available, every fourth Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we host the meetings, obviously in Zoom. But the link is there. Access is open to anyone who's interested in supporting the work and efforts at that level. Also putting up, if you have a small business, there is an event that's coming up with the Brooklyn Women's Business Center. They're having a power hour on March the 18th at 6 p.m. And to register, you can check out the brooklynwomens.org, or you can call them at 718-385-6700, or you can email Camille Newman at the LDC eastnewyork.org. And also wanted to quickly shout out that there was a local economic development corporation in Brownsville, Ocean-Hill Brownsville as well. So you can check out the website at www.brownsvillebk.org. And just if you see information that needs to be posted, if there are information that you may have missed, we post this information on the Community Board 16 Facebook page that you have an opportunity to take advantage of. And spread the word, because all of these programs and services are for the residents, but oftentimes we may miss the deadlines. So it is our goal to make sure that we are sharing the information widely and also broadly. Finally, I want to shout out all of our community partners who are live streaming this, the Brownsville Minute, the Youth Design Center Made in Brownsville, the Pickens Avenue Bid, Central Brooklyn EDC, and also the Community Board 16, as well as my business page. It takes a community effort to be able to share whatever information that we have. And the goal as a community is to make sure that we are sharing it as many ways as possible, whether on social media, whether knocking on doors, whether through email blasts or word of mouth. Our goal is to create a community ecosystem where we are circulating information, programs, and services that exist, and that everyone has an opportunity to take advantage of it. So please stay tuned, like and follow our community partners, because we are going to be circulating the Brownsville Minute and also other information as relevant to your needs. I'm also going to put out a plug, because I know that I've been getting a number of individuals who are interested in being on the Brownsville Minute. Again, it's a simple connecting email. You can send over an email. I'm actually going to put up the, well, you'll see it actually in the community announcements that we're going to be showing in a few moments, that will have all of the information, but it's really just send an email to info@11375.com. We can talk about what your topic is going to be, and we can definitely have you on the show to provide information that's relevant to the community, that is centered in love, and that it provides information. So on that note, I'm going to say so long. Please stay tuned. We are hosting, we're going to host the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce is going to be our next guest on the Brownsville Minute on March the 25th. So you can stay tuned to that. Also upcoming that week, we have a number of community board meetings. So please check out the website for all of the current dates that are relevant. Hopefully your schedule permits that you can join in the movement. So on that note, I want to thank you so much for joining the Brownsville Minute. We appreciate your support, your love, your watching us, and I will see you next time. Stay tuned for the announcements. Thank you so much.